Once again, we have the pace boat with the yellow flag up, and that's going to indicate the start of the peace start for today. Many boats entered here in the pro stock. We've got Risky Business, Miss Don Q Rum, Concrete Cat, Talon Comp, High Risk, Hydrotech, Team Skater, Euromarine Special, Showdown, First Defense, and Wheel of Fortune. Right there in your picture, you've got High Risk, Euromarine Special. Miss Don Q is there also. Promised to be a very competitive class of racing. They've been dueling all year. In Pro Stock, it was won by Miss Don Q Rum in first, followed by High Risk, First Defense third, Ocean Outboard fourth, and Risky Business fifth for the '89 campaign. But right now, that's all behind them, and they're here for the World Championships. Right here, we're going to go with P27, off to a quick early lead. It's Risky Business. It's a 32-foot skater powered by three 270 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Stephen Dorsich from Tahoe Paradise, California. And on throttles, we've got John Bruno. And on the outside right there, that was Felix Sorales' Miss Don Q Rum, who also had a good year. Miss Don Q and Risky Business went at it fiercely throughout the '89 campaign. And today promises to be no different, as you see in your picture. On the outside, that's Felix Sorales is Miss Don Q Rum in the outside, but High Risk for seeing the challenge, taking it, and going ahead right now. Dorsich doing a fine job in Risky Business as he meets the challenge put up by Miss Don Q Rum and just pushes ahead. Great racing right here by Risky Business. Joe Mack's Dirty Laundry is still having a good day as he is leading right now over Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Special in the UIM 1 class. Abel and Diesel Dancer still going head-to-head in UIM 2. RDS, Little Caesars Pizza, Eric's Reality, Jesse James and Lucky Strike, and Antonelli Spirit of America going at it in the Superboat class. But right now we're locked in a fierce battle between Miss Don Q Rum on the outside, and, well, Risky Business on the outside, Miss Don Q Rum on the inside. Sorales pushing hard right now, trying to overtake Dorsich's Risky Business. Miss Don Q Rum is a 32-foot Douglas skater powered by three 265 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. Felix Sorales is your driver of record. Juan Sorales is driving today from Mercedita, Puerto Rico, and Felix Sorales is the throttle man. Sorales had an excellent campaign all year. He is your '89 champion in the pro stock division for the entire year. He had a very consistent year, and he has been able to hold off High Risk, First Defense, Ocean Outboard, and Risky Business all year. But right now, Risky Business has gotten off to a fantastic start. Stephen Dorsich, you can see the spray of his motors right now and the wake that he is leaving behind. But Sorales is trying to close the gap with Miss Don Q Rum. So in the early lead in this start, it's between Risky Business and Miss Don Q. You've been watching some very close competitive racing, and both these boats, Risky Business and Miss Don Q Rum, are basically identical boats in terms of their Mercury outboard motors and their skater hulls below them. So it's very competitive racing, neck and neck, virtually identical pieces of equipment, thus providing for the close competitive racing. I'm assured, Miss Don Q Rum having a bit of a rough time over that one wave, but certainly not a problem. Sorrellis gets the boat right back up there again, and he is back in the hunt against Dorset. But as we were saying earlier on, the way these two boats started off today's race, running neck and neck, that's how we expect to see them finish at the end of the race, running 1-2, and could even finish in a dead heat. Highly unlikely, but these boats are so evenly matched, we do expect to see them both at the end almost in the same position. As you can see, it's so close to call. Miss Don Q Rum takes the lead, then Risky Business takes the lead, and that's how it's going to be for the entire day for these two boats. Dorset and Sorrellis still locked in a very fierce battle, which will rage on not only for today, but throughout the rest of the week. Risky Business and Miss Don Q Rum. Now we come up on another boat in the Pro Stock division. This is Concrete Cat. It is a P15. It's a 32-foot Hydrotech race hull with three 260 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Ray H. Tresh from Mullica Hill, New Jersey. Mitch Brodkin is your navigator, and Doug Lewis is the throttle man. They're the 1988 World Cup Northeast Division and North American champion, as well as the New Jersey Governor's Cup champion. So Concrete Cat has had a relatively good year for 89. In some races that they've entered in here in the Northeast, they took a first in Newburyport and a first in Rochester, New York. So Concrete Cat has had a good year. They want to come out and have a good week of racing. But as you saw, they're going to be locked in a fierce battle also with Risky Business and Miss Don Q Rum, who are running 1-2 in class right now. But Concrete Cat will have to hold off challenges being mounted by Talon Comp 37, High Risk, Hydrotech Powerboats, Team Skater, the hard-charging Euromarine Special, and many others who are entered here today. So Tresh, along with Brooken and Lewis, who make up the Concrete Cat race team, certainly have their work cut out for them here today. They'll be dueling for the rest of the week with these boats. They'd like a strong finish here today because they know the competition will be tough. The Concrete Cat race team. Now we come up on P26, the boat known as Talon Comp 37. There's a 37-foot Talon race hull powered by three 270 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Gary Armington. Driving today is Tom Moeller from Sarasota, Florida, and Paul Kesserling is on throttles. Very interesting story behind the crew of Moeller and Kesserling. They originally raced a boat called Paradox, and they survived a life-threatening crash. After that, they returned to race in the 1988 race circuit in the boat called Main Attraction, where unfortunately they had stuffed the boat had serious damage. They were able to repair everything, get the crew back together again, and they went on to become world champions in '88. They also took a first place in the Southeast Divisional Circuit. Their sponsors are Corvettes West and Dolphin Aviation. So everyone has persevered to help propel Talon Comp 37 to be the champion, and they've come out here today to prove what they're all about. This crew is made up of a lot of guts. They've had some unfortunate mishaps, but they get right back in there and they come back into the true champions that they are. They're presently locked in a duel for the third and fourth spot between Concrete Cat, who you just saw earlier on. Risky Business and Ms. Don Q. Rum are still dueling it out in the beginning of this pack, but Concrete Cat, Talon Comp 37, High Risk, Hydrotech Products, and Team Skater, along with Euromarine Special, Showdown, are all locked in a very fierce battle right now. Very close to call in the Pro Stock division. But right now we're going to stay with a hard-charging Talon Comp 37 headed up by Tom Moeller and Paul Kesserling. In the UIM 2 class, Abel and Diesel Dancer are still locked in a neck-and-neck battle. We'll have to wait and see how that one unwinds, but they are having some excellent head-to-head competition, just as Risky Business and Miss Don Q. Rum is having in Pro Stock. All divisions of offshore powerboat racing are very competitive. There's a lot of parity in all groups, and it provides some of the most excellent racing that we've seen all year. The World Championships, they bring out the best in all divisions. Talon Comp 37 enjoying a very good run. Now we come up on P20, the Showdown race team. There's a 32-foot Douglas Marine skater powered by three 275 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Bill Mitrovich. Driving today is Ed Halcomb from Chardon, Ohio, and Bill is doing the throttling. The Showdown race team looking very confident right now, and they have had some help. Bill feels very strongly that without offshore technologies, they would not have been able to have the success that they have enjoyed for the '89 campaign. And Bill would like to extend a special thanks to Mercury Marine and Dean Becker of Rapid Racing Oil and the help that Douglas Marine Skater has provided this race team to help make Showdown have the successful year that they have had in Pro Stock. 1989 was a very good year for the Showdown race team. So good, in fact, that they became the High Point champions for the Central Division. So everyone from Freeze Frame Video would like to extend our congratulations to the Showdown race team. And we certainly hope that the good luck prevails for them as they have a strong week of racing ahead of them here in Atlantic City in the World Championships, the Showdown race team.